switchers in the third period last night, regardless of whether you use them tomorrow or not, how much does that just give you another weapon, another set of combinations that, you feel like you can get things out of?
Well, I think there's a lot of times that, in a game you'll see where you can switch a centerman around or a couple wingers around, and you're just trying to spark. Sometimes, especially on the road when you're not getting matchups, you can help spark a lineup. I think usually the road is more effective at home. I mean, we played what I felt a great first period, but didn't capitalize, hit a bunch of posts, and didn't put the puck in the back of the net. But felt with the way Kulich was going with the injury he kind of suffered, that we were planning on moving a couple pieces around.
Is he gonna have to? I mean, he's wearing it right now. Is he gonna have to keep wearing that, as far as you know?
Don't know for sure. Probably short term, maybe, yeah.
As far as Henri goes, I know each guy that went to Four Nations, we've been asking you, about what it could do for them. But in his case, I mean, what can that do for him to go? He's had a tough season, and all of a sudden he's among the world's best, and he did pretty well. I mean, what can that do for a guy?
Yeah, I think it definitely helped him. I think there's always areas of a game, when you're playing with the best of the best, it can pick you up. You're all of a sudden you're playing with better players. You're probably playing with your country's top 5 or 6 defensemen, and top forwards that are making elite plays that maybe the group that you're playing with isn't quite at that level. And I think every team is in that category. So when it comes to defending, there's parts of his game I've liked him to be better. I think he's improved. We know offensively he can join. He's got a good shot. He can make things happen. But mainly our puck management and our defensive play is the thing that's kind of hurt us throughout the year.
Henri is, given the way the process went for him, getting on Finland, where he was not added until late, and being in and out of the lineup here, he's a very quiet guy, but is he the kind of guy that operates with kind of like a quiet chip on his shoulder when it comes to proving people?
I think any guy operates a lot of times with that chip. When you're not given the opportunity, if you're a healthy scratch, if you're not chosen by your country, if that should motivate you, that should drive you.
You mentioned last night about the road and how you guys have to figure out a way to get better, and matchups are tough, but I look at some of your young guys, Power and Peterka in particular, have huge disparities in their home and road stats. I mean, how do you get more consistent effort out of guys on the road?
Well, it starts with details. Probably the second most thing is to compete. The 50-50 compete has to be better. When you win more battles, you have the puck more. And that's something that we're going to have to do a better job on the road. I think if I point to that, having it more will give us more opportunity. If I went back to recent road games, the Nashville game, we had the puck quite a bit in the Nashville game. We made 3 or 4 egregious plays defensively that really cost us. That's what we have to stay away from. We've got our game, and I thought again last night, we've got our game away from the puck in a pretty good place. We've got right back to it in these last couple of games. We can't go on the road and make those mistakes and get down the way we did in Nashville. I actually think you go back to Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton. We played better in those games and probably deserved a better fate in Calgary and Edmonton. So if we play that way, you're going to win your share of games.
Did Jason and Alex, obviously they're not on the ice, but did they come through okay? The game yesterday?
He got through it. I don't think he was near where he needed to be, but he got through the game.
Are you talking about Jason or Alex? I'm sorry.
I'm talking about Jason. I thought Alex looked fine. Jason, I thought, struggled a little bit with the skating, and that has in part to do with what he's dealing with.
Do you expect him to play tomorrow?
I do.
You haven't been here for any of them, but the Sabres have lost 10 in a row in Carolina. But you know a lot about them from your time in Jersey. It's a tough atmosphere. Just what makes that particular game difficult in their place?
Well, again, you're dealing with a team that gets all their matchups in their own building. They play a game that limits the opportunities. They're really good. They're really good at what they do. We played a strong game against them here. We really have to try to replicate that and take advantage of, if we can force them out of that comfortable game where, if they get a lead and their puck pressure, and they're probably the best team in the league of making sure they spend the least amount of time in their own end. So our decisions we make and how we handle the puck in the offensive zone is going to be huge.
The puck decisions, are there other defensive details you've really focused on these last few games that have led to the success you've had 5-on-5?
Yeah, I mean, again, I thought we had a couple shifts offensively last night in the third period that you'd just like to bottle, and it all started with puck battles. You go to the one goal, it started with Owen Power's puck battle on the wall. It followed up by Quinn winning a puck battle going into the corner. That all led to possession, and when you lead to possession, I think we got two lines out there, almost two full lines out in one shift in the offensive zone, and you get that type of play, and you're gonna have some success for sure.
Now that you have Darlene clearly 100% healthy, and Power and Byram have played the way they have, like, how important are the three of them, and how much of a luxury is that just to get your team offense going when you have those guys?
Yeah, I think you can see the difference it's making. The Dolls is skating at a level right now that he hasn't skated all year. And then you couple that with a Byram who's, a really good skater, can move well too, and you look what those two were doing in the offensive zone and how tough they were to track. You look at some of their breakouts, how they broke the puck out and how quickly we left our zone. The less time, I always feel if you get past that 8-10 second mark in your zone, there's always something bad that's going to happen. If you break out right away, you execute, and we did a lot last night. You can create offense in a hurry.
Discussions with Kevin because the deadline's coming up next week. Do you have any?
We have discussions. There's discussions every day. Every day. This is the time of year. There's a lot of buzz about a lot of things, and there's a lot of talk, and it's just really is part of the business of. There's teams out there that are trying to make themselves look better. There's teams that are maybe trying to sell off a couple pieces to find a piece that can help, rebuild their team. So. That's just really all part of the process that you're daily having conversations this time of year.
It's a little more complex this year with the schedule so tight. You got a bunch of games between now and next Friday. You don't have many days off.
Yeah, there are no days off. There's really no time off. I mean, part of today with going optional was, a hard battle last night, and then you look at what's coming in the schedule with 4 and 6 and 6 and 10, whatever it is, or 6 and a little less than 10. That getting the guys rest in between games is going to be important. We had our good week of practice, where a couple hard days and a lift day, and then we had one more hard day. The hard days now just have to be games, and the in between days is basically rest and recover, because you're going to play back to back, and we got to take all the excuses away. Thanks.
Thanks.